Triggers. So in make.com, a scenario or a chain of modules has to have a trigger in order to start. It has to know when to start the domino effect that makes all the apps and all the modules start running. There are two different ways that you can trigger a scenario in Make. That is with either an ACID trigger or no trigger at all, which sounds a little contradictory. I'll go over that in a moment. But there are two different ways that you can trigger an ACID trigger. One is instant. So an instant ACID trigger looks for some type of action, typically off the Make platform and on a third-party platform. It waits for that action to be completed, and then it'll ping a webhook to start the modules. A great example of that would be a Jotform, right? So Jotform is a third-party service that offers forms. It has an ACID trigger in make.com. So you can set it up to where it waits for somebody to fill out that form. And as soon as they click submit on that form, it pings a webhook and it starts your scenario in make.com. Not all triggers are instant. Some ACID triggers are timed, and this is where you have to put it on a timer in order to have it run at regular intervals. A lot of Google modules are like that. For example, in this screenshot, Watch for New Rows is a Google Sheets ACID module that is not instant. In order to run, though, it still has to have new information. It just does it on a timer. So you could set it to check every Monday or every day at a certain time. And what it'll do is it'll check to see if there are new rows. If there are no new rows in that sheet, the trigger doesn't go off. If there are new rows in that sheet, the trigger will go off as soon as it detects those at its regularly timed interval. So that's the difference between the two different ways that an ACID trigger can trigger a scenario. You can also have no trigger, but it still has to have a trigger. So this is where you would just put it on a timer. It doesn't require new information. It doesn't require any off-platform actions. Literally at regular intervals or at certain times of the week or the month or the day, however you set it up, the scenario will simply run. And those are the ways that you can trigger a scenario in Make. Next time, we'll go over exactly what the definition of a scenario is and everything that encompasses.